This episode of It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine was made possible by contributions from slaves like you. Thank you very much.
Which brings us once again to the urgent realization of just how much there is still left to own. Item 6 on the agenda, the meaning of life.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.
Good morning, slaves, and welcome to another edition of It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine, where the long journey to a brighter tomorrow begins with a single step.
In the past few weeks, 5 high-profile bankers have died, all from apparent suicides.
Another one! Another one just went past, downwards. Must be a board meeting.
I am your host, the Stimulator, and it seems like just about every other week, I get a message that goes something like this.
Yo, Stim, big fan of the show. I just have one question. When are you going to do a sedition on anarcho-capitalism? Have you ever read Murray Rothbard? True anarchy is synonymous with free markets.
For the most part, I don't respond to these types of questions. So for all of those of you who have asked me over the years, the answer is
fuck anarcho-capitalism.
Seriously, at best, the attempt to marry anarchism and capitalism is a nonsensical contradiction, and at worst, is the political equivalent of what would happen if Ayn Rand and Mussolini spawned a fedora-toting Austrian love child who happened to be born with a disease that it meant it couldn't go outside and so was forced to live its entire life confined to the bowels of online Reddit forums. Now, to be clear, as an anarchist, I'm all for smashing the state. But there's nothing particularly revolutionary or liberatory about smashing the state if it just means handing more power over to corporations. If anything, it only makes shit way fucking worse. And if you don't believe me, just ask the people of Flint, Michigan.
We started to lose our hair, all 5 of us, and we started developing rashes on our arms and our face.
Back in March of 2011, Michigan's ANCAP governor, Rick Snyder,
I'm an accountant,
signed a bill which allowed for the special appointment of so-called emergency financial managers, which are essentially just a cabal of corporate technocrats who are granted the supreme authority to override decisions made by local governments, all in the name of market efficiency.
get in there, get the job done, get out.
In 2014, in an effort to pinch some pennies, Flint's emergency manager, Darnell Early, switched the source of the city's drinking water to the heavily polluted Flint River, which is chock full of delicious, thirst-quenching industrial chemical solvent called trihalomethane. This toxic fucking slurry immediately began corroding the city's pipes, causing a trickle-down effect of sorts, with shit tons of lead leaching into the water supply and ultimately exposing the city's 100,000 residents to severe fucking lead poisoning.
I think in retrospect, if we all had, 20/20 hindsight, we'd do a lot of things different.
I'm an accountant.
I love you because you kill people.
And now, impoverished Flint residents who can't afford to pay for their poisoned fucking water are getting their pipes shut off altogether.
Have the water shut off! Water is a human right!
Just like their neighbors in the cash-strapped city of Detroit, where thousands of peeps have had their drinking water cut off in strict accordance with the libertarian logic of the free fucking market. Or maybe you can ask peeps living in California's San Fernando Valley, who for months now have been dealing with a giant fucking natural gas leak.
Hey Stim, I got a natural gas leak for ya.
Jesus fucking Christ, that's rank. You're a sick fuck agitator. Anyway, as I was saying, residents of the Porter Ranch community north of Los Angeles are currently facing the United States' biggest environmental disaster since 2010, when the BP's Deepwater Horizon oil rig blew the fuck up in the Gulf of Mexico. For months now, a steady stream of methane has been spewing out into the Aliso Canyon underground natural gas storage facility, causing a slew of health problems for local residents.
I have terrible headaches, my daughter experienced stomach pain, my son's got nosebleeds. It's just really bad.
forcing the evacuation of thousands of peeps from the surrounding community and leading the state governor to declare a motherfucking state of emergency. To make matters even worse, methane is about 86 times more powerful than CO2 in terms of its greenhouse gas effect, meaning that this fuck-up is making a gigantic contribution to the runaway climate change already fueling a historically unprecedented regional drought. At its highest level, this leak accounts for a whooping 25% of California's total emissions, roughly equivalent to the effects of driving 4.5 million fucking cars every single motherfucking day. This epic clusterfuck has been compounded by the fact that Southern California Gas, the company which owns the site, inexplicably removed the facility's emergency shutoff valve and never replaced it. No doubt because doing so will have cost them money that they didn't want to spend. And since the leak is 8,000 feet underground and extremely hard to get, it's expected to take several months to fix, meaning that there's nothing that peeps can do but wait for the free market to do its magic. Fuck anarcho-capitalism. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Now stop bugging me about it.
They some trappers who don't hold heat, gangsters who don't stroll streets, next level criminality, keep it shit low key. Not like Bobby Shmurda's dumbass, but they do the shmoney though. I mean they show money, then the police dance on our bones. It's time to overthrow 'em, cause these banksters don't play. Plus made the rules up in this shady game. Gang begging for major payday, pushing they laws like narcotics. Rounding black males in them prisons box up they products. While how Nike be banking off the prison complex. Even Michael Jordan, a gangster, he also bank off the process. So fuck your idol about that greed. Plus them Nikes don't fit my principles, that's why I sold my threes. What about our babies, they get deployed overseas. And our women, y'all know what happens to our women overseas. Prostitution rings, cause poverty's the blade. Exploitation at its highest, all is made in the USA by these gangsters and these pimps. They the trillers of trappers, y'all know what it is.
For weeks now, high-priced financial analysts, hedge fund managers, and Wall Street execs have been shitting their $10,000 designer suits as a convergence of warning signs indicate that a clusterfuck of epic proportions is about to hit the global motherfucking economy.
Mr. Plouffe, have you seen the latest stock price? It's hitting an all-time low of $18 and it's still dropping. Almost $400 billion of wealth was lost today.
Unlike the great financial shitstorm of 2007 and 2008, when bankers and coked-out stockbrokers were too busy groping around in a greasy fucking orgy of CDO and mortgage-backed derivatives trading to see the writing on the fucking wall.
And then that happens.
This time around, the same assortment of capitalist scum are completely fucking aware of the 10-story shitnami looming on the not-so-distant horizon, but have no fucking way to stop it. While millions of peeps are glued to their screens this month, cycling through photos of J.B.'s fucked up new hairdo, and reading an endless supply of clickbait articles about the new Star Wars flick, several top bankers were sounding the horn, alerting their fellow rats that the time has come to abandon ship.
Shit!
Hey, that was Wilkins of Finance. Oh, no, that was Robertson.
On January 8th, a leading economist from the Royal Bank of Scotland published a memo urging investors to, quote, sell everything.
How can the price be going down? Something's wrong.
And warning that 2016 is going to be a, quote, cataclysmic year that could see up to 1/5 of the total global stock market wiped the fuck out.
What you're telling me is that the music is about to stop. And we're going to be left holding the biggest bag of odorous excrement ever assembled in the history of capitalism.
This gloomy prediction has been more or less echoed by economists at several behemoth fucking banks, including Morgan Stanley, Barclays, Bank of America, Merrill fucking Lynch, Deutsche Bank, and JP Morgan. This time around, the epicenter of the crisis is China, the very engine of global economic growth that has been propping up the entire international economy since the 2008 meltdown. For years now, gangsta capitalists have been pouring billions of dollars into a giant fucking construction boom in China, building sprawling ghost towns that nobody fucking lives in.
Except for maybe these chickens.
This insane fucking building bonanza has used up a huge percentage of the world's total output of oil, concrete, coal, steel, and other metals. And now that the party's wrapping up, the prices of these commodities are in total fucking freefall, with some analysts predicting that the price of oil could drop down to as low as $10 a motherfucking barrel.
Bring it down more, fuck!
This is yet more good news for opponents of the motherfucking tar sands, since the energy and extractive corporations most heavily invested in mining and refining this toxic sludge are going to take a serious fucking hit. Who knows? Some of them might go bankrupt and have to shut down.
What do you mean you fucking got laid off?
The fucking price of oil or some shit.
But while this looming economic collapse may seem like great news to peeps eagerly awaiting the violent death of capitalism and the chance to piss on its fucking grave, the unfortunate reality is that it will be mostly poor peeps who get fucked in the end. Further economic turmoil risks increasing the nationalist backlash that is already reaching a fever pitch in the West and will no doubt make life even more desperate for peeps in the global South who are already suffering the brunt of global inequality and runaway climate change. After the 2008 crisis, rich fucking bankers got bailed out on the public dime, while millions of poor peeps found themselves homeless and millions more lost their jobs. Politicians around the world followed up this economic shock therapy by gutting pensions, privatizing public services and industries, and pushing through painful cuts to public spending. If we want to avoid having the same thing happen next time around, peeps will have to be ready to seriously throw down. Voting for Bernie's just not gonna cut it.
No! Oh, Jesus.
A recent report published by Oxfam pointed out that the 62 richest motherfuckers on Earth now possess the same amount of wealth as the bottom 50% of the world's population. Now, I'm no economist,
Just tell me the truth!
but it seems like the most sensible and financially prudent thing to do will be to round up these 62 posh, caviar-sucking parasites, put them all onto a cruise ship, tell them that they're going to a luxury resort in the Maldives, steer that cruise ship into the middle of the Arctic fucking ocean, sink it, and start divvying up their shit. This might not fix everything, but it'd be a good start. And that about it for this edition of It's the End of the World as We Know It, and I feel fine. Many of you found this fucking show through the corporate spy website known as Fedbook. Since we don't own this infrastructure, we're quite sure that at any moment, they could yank our pages, and you motherfuckers wouldn't know when we put out a new edition. One way to get this filthy fucking show without Zuckerberg's interference is to subscribe to our podcast. But if that's not